Alright, YouTube, we are back. It has been a while, too long in fact, and you might notice the sound of my bike is a little bit different than it used to be, as I am now on a 2024 350 XCF. Sold the 24 300 and the TX 300, went back to a course road. So this is going to be my new ride for a little while. Hopefully I can stay sane and not go crazy and buy another bike. Or maybe I can work out a deal where I can have one of each. I don't know. But for now, we're on the 350. And we are doing a sweet fall ride. As you can see, oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous up here today. Going to be awesome. I definitely prefer how this handled that to my 300. Right, traction control. I don't think you need traction control. I was just curious how it feels. Yeah, we definitely have water up here still. Definitely not as snappy now. It took a bunch of bark out of that. Okay. All this in third gear. Not going to be able to do it there. I got to shift the thing. you in the eyes. Not normally a big deal.
Okay, so first off, I want to thank everybody for taking a few minutes to watch the video today. Also, I need to apologize ahead of time for my rambling, but that's kind of how I am. Just do things off the cuff rather than pre-plan my statements and thoughts. So I hope you'll forgive me for that. Not a wordsmith by any means or sense of the word, but I do my best. So with that being said, I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts about the ride today. Just for anyone who's curious about a 350 and whether it's the bike for them, obviously I can't really answer that for anyone, but I am a pretty hefty guy. I'm 5'11", 220 pounds-ish, and I personally feel like this bike has more than enough power for me. I have ridden the bikes, the 350 specifically, prior to 2023, so the 22 and older ones, and honestly I never really felt like they had enough. They always felt kind of flat and not very exciting to ride, but in 2023 KTM made some pretty significant updates to this motor, and it has made it just an absolute gem to ride, in my opinion. Prior to this bike, I was always a huge fan of the 300s or a 450, one or the other, depending on the type of riding you do. One of those two bikes was going to be the bike to have, and significantly better than the other one. Whereas I think this 350 kind of bridges the gap for everything. This tight single track, and this ride today wasn't a super tight single track, but it's still fairly difficult for a new person at least. I've rode these trails for years, so I kind of know what to expect and what's coming, so it's not as hard for me. But again, I think, you know, it's still probably a fairly difficult. I mean, I don't know, I guess on a scale of 1 to 5, it'd be a 3.5 for most people, I think. And the 350 just did an absolutely fantastic job. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I had a 2024 300 that I picked up earlier this year and rode that bike in these same trails. Conditions weren't quite the same. It was much drier during the summer than it is today. This is kind of fairy tale conditions, honestly. And that being said, I still think the 350 just does a better job for me. I just have more fun riding the 350 than I did on the 300. Do I think it has more power? Actually, yeah, a little bit. I know on the dyno, the 300 makes more torque down low than the 350 does, but for some weird reason, it doesn't really feel that way to me. So, you know, for this type of riding, the 350 still does a fantastic job. It won't lug quite as well, so you have to be a little more mindful of covering the clutch. But outside of that, it does everything as good, if not better. And then when things really open up, you know, for the desert or a motocross track, this absolutely is the better weapon as far as I'm concerned. Now, when it comes time to doing maintenance, oh my gosh, I would way rather have the 300 all day long. But, you know, there's give and take in everything, right? I wish I could have my cake and eat it too. But at this point, that's just not an option. But maybe in the near future, something will come up that allows for that. I'm hoping that somebody will develop an e-moto bike that produces no less than 50 horse and can do 60 plus miles of single track riding, doing what you see here, and faster, and is also not made in China. So once that happens, I think I will jump ship from gas-powered bikes altogether, but that day is not today. So until then, we will burn some fossil fuel and have a great time doing it. Anyhow, again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this ride video. If you have any questions, please feel free to post things in the comments. I'm happy to answer any questions anyone has regarding the 350 and how I think it compares to a 300, or anything else for that matter. Anyhow, thanks again. Everyone, have a great one. Get out there and play some dirt.
Oh, I screwed that up. I messed up. Lost my momentum.